Good morning. It is my singular honor and privilege to welcome you all to the official launch of the National Community Media Cybersecurity Building Project. Today, we are gathered not merely to inaugurate another project, but to mark an important milestone in Ghana's digital journey towards a safer, more secure, and more resilient digital future. The digital revolution has transformed the way we live, communicate, learn, and conduct businesses. Yet, alongside these opportunities has emerged an evolving landscape of cybercrime, digital fraud, misinformation, online exploitation, and so much more. Ladies and gentlemen, no institution can confront these challenges alone. Without further ado, we would like to acknowledge our special dignitaries.
Good morning once again. Thank you for honoring our invitation when we called you and joining us this morning. This morning we are gracefully joined by key dignitaries who have recognized the importance of this particular event. We have in our midst the Director General of the Cybersecurity Authority, Mr. Divine Selassie Agbeti. Please let's give him a round of applause. We also have in our midst His Excellency, the Ambassador of the Czech Republic, His Excellency Pavel Bilek. Please let's welcome him. We are also joined by Major General Dr. Timothy Batabana, the Director of the National Counter-Terrorism Fusion Center. Sir, please let's welcome you. We are also gracefully joined by the Deputy Director General of the Cybersecurity Authority in charge of technical operations in the person of Mr. Stephen Kujo Seshi. Sir, you're welcome. We also have with us this morning Mr. Emmanuel Ejare, the board rep from the Africa Center for Digital Transformation. Please help me welcome Mr. Benjamin Avonuche, the Acting Director for Communications, Strategic Partnership, and International Cooperation here at the CSA. You're welcome, sir. We also have in our midst Professor Emmanuel Kofi Akora, Director at the KNUST E-Learning Center. Sir, please, you're welcome. Give us a wave. Thank you. We are also joined by Mr. David Sichopet Tamakru, who is the President of the Private Newspaper and Online Publishers Association of Ghana. You're welcome, sir. And finally, we have Mr. C.K. Bruce, who is the Acting President for the Industry Forum of Ghana. As time goes on, we will continue to introduce our key dignitaries that join us. This morning, myself, Vivian Doe, and
Sharon Paulina Boy
will be your moderators and your MCs for the day. Once again, you are very, very welcome to today's event. We will go in quickly for an opening prayer, and afterwards, we will all kindly rise for the national anthem. So please, let's bow our heads in prayer. Most gracious Father, we thank you this morning. We thank you for your unending mercies. It is by your grace that we are here today. And so, Father, we pray and ask that you dwell in our midst. You chair every activity to a successful end as we work to ensure that Ghana becomes digitally safer. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray with thanksgiving. Amen. Please, may we rise as we sing Ghana's national anthem. Thank you very much. We may please resume our seats. For many people in this room today, our Monday mornings are usually characterized by editorial meetings, production schedules, and interviews. But this morning, we are gathered here, pausing that routine for a very important purpose. Because the CSA and its partners, who are the Africa Center for Digital Transformation and the Czech Republic Embassy in Ghana, have recognized the power that the media has and has seen the need to equip youth with the relevant skills and knowledge to be able to help the Safer Digital Ghana agenda. May we please put our hands together for the Czech Embassy and the Africa Center for Digital Transformation for seeing the vision. We will zoom right into our first agenda, which will be a presentation that will cover the project overview, which is the National Community Media Cyber Capacity Building Project. So may you kindly help me welcome, with a round of applause, Mr. Emmanuel Ajare from the board to give us this brief presentation. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Pardon me, I'm a bit under the weather, so my voice sounds croaky. But I'm excited to be here. This is a good call that we all want to embrace. As has been introduced, I'm a board rep from the Africa Center for Digital Transformation. And my task here this morning is to give a general overview of what the project seeks to do. I want to thank His Excellency, the Czech Republic Ambassador, for gracing the occasion, and also the Director General for CSA, as well as all the dignitaries who are here with us this morning. I would want to begin my overview with a personal story of what social engineering can do. So about 2 years ago, I received a call from someone who seems to be a friend of mine, but for a long while, I haven't heard from the friend. And this person, because I'm in the mining field, this person introduced himself as a staff of one of the big mining companies in Ghana, having won a contract. And as a staff of the mining company, he or she cannot execute the supply contract, and so needed me as a friend to help with the contract, which sound juicy, and I wasn't going to part with any money because it was just a supply contract. Fortunately for me, my friend, who now calls and introduced and created acquaintance with me, went ahead and gave me the contact of the supplier who has the product. So I was glad. I called the supplier to confirm the order, whether or not they had the product in stock. And yes, gladly, I received good news that the order is in stock. So all I needed was to get a sample of the product and then send it to the procurement officer of the mine for them to test and be sure that is the correct product. So all I needed to do was to reach back to the staff, alleged staff who had given me the contract, so that once we sell the product, we'll strike the margin and I take my share of the profit, having not spent a penny. So that sounded good. So what I did was to also invite a friend to join me in this arrangement. And the good news is that my friend was able to see between the lines, and all they needed from me was for me to send, at that time, 2,000 Ghana cedis as the purchase of the first sample so that the procurement guys will test it. Had I sent the 2,000, the transaction would have been fully executed. And this is what they do by what we call social engineering. They create an acquaintance with you. So all they needed for that day is just a 2,000 Ghana cedi from me. And they would have successfully defrauded me. And that would have been the end of the transaction, where I was looking at getting 500,000 and we split it. And that is how cyber security and fraud happen. They pick you on the spot. So it's not the normal traditional call where I call you, can you check on your number and then key this number? No. They've engineered it. They create a relationship with you. And this time, they do not pressurize you like they would do under. Because a business transaction, they will fake the ID of the mining company, give you a pro forma invoice, make everything look genuine. But behind the scenes, if they go through with a 2,000 Ghana cedi, they are done. This same transaction was repeated recently with a friend of mine because I knew the modus operandi. I told them that that is the end effect. And so that is why we are here this morning, to help each other, to partner with the media, who are the voices, and so that we can reach out to the rest of Ghana and beyond to create awareness and to prevent cyber fraud. The question is, how does an uninformed media contribute to the growing threat of cyber and online fraud? How does an uninformed media able to help us cost cyber security and create awareness and prevent digital fraud? The next question, what is the price that a nation would pay if the media is uninformed and wants to fight cybercrime and online offenses? The answer to these questions are very clear. It is imperative that we invest now in media training and capacity building so that we will be able to fight cybercrime from an informed position. Ladies and gentlemen, Africa Center for Digital Transformation plays a critical role in advancing resilience, innovation, capacity building across Ghana and Africa. ACDT has been operating since April 2024. So we are in our second year of operation, but with the help of the Czech embassy, we've been able to secure funding for this media training, which we find critical for the success match of Ghana and the continent. A round of applause for the Czech Republic. ACDT has a team of 27 researchers across Africa, comprising 20 PhD scholars and 7 PhD holders. We have collaborated with a number of institutions. We've interacted with the Internet Society, the Africa Center for Energy Policy, as well as Imani Ghana. And we are glad to be also partnering today with CSA and our partners. As I already stated, ACDT is a Pan-African policy think tank, and our aim is to ensure that we grow awareness, we create awareness, we accelerate inclusive digital transformation across Africa through policy research, through capacity building like we are doing today, and through strategic partnerships. Our work is centered on 4 thematic areas: cybersecurity 1, artificial intelligence 2, digital public infrastructure development, as well as green digital transformation. Our vision is simple: to digitally empower Africa, lead Africans, and also become a resource base that will advance the total development of the continent. Our mission is to drive digital transformation through advocacy, capacity building, partnership, empowering communities and governments for inclusive prosperity. The problem that we are faced with here is how we can mobilize ourselves as a nation so that we can be cyber informed and be able to educate the masses who are everywhere. You would agree with me that in Ghana, whilst we have a lot of proliferation of media, we still have unserved people, and you find people even on their farms tuning in to radio to listen, to be updated. And so we see that the media frontier is a strong force to help us to be able to disseminate this information. The story I shared is a typical example. How many would think that now social engineering has become the order of the day? So you create a rapport, and through that process, be able to commit fraud. And that is why we need the media to partner us in reaching this goal. The answer to this is that no nation can win the fight against cybercrime without informing, educating, and bringing the public into the perspective in ensuring that the media, which is the fulcrum around which we can build this, understands us. And that is why we've brought this together today. An uninformed media may unintentionally sensationalize cyber incidents instead of educating the public. It may spread inaccurate information during an emergency, and it may create unnecessary panic and erode public confidence. Another challenge is that an uninformed media may fail to identify emerging online threats until significant harm has been already caused. And that is what ACDT is partnering our members to ensure that we overcome this. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with much joy that we have come together today to look at the critical role that the media, editors, journalists, bloggers, and cyber influencers play, because oftentimes they are overlooked. Now, what does the program, National Community Media Cyber Capacity Building Project, a mouthful, bring to us? It is a strategic partnership between the CSA, the Cyber Security Authority, the Africa Center for Digital Transformation, and the government of Czech, as well as with the support of the Ministry of Communication, Digital Transformation, for us to roll out this project in a phased manner. And we believe that a cyber-informed media is one of the strongest pillars for national development. Now, we have 4 broad areas the program would cover. One is to strengthen the technical, ethical, and operational capacity of community media practitioners to effectively report on cybercrime, digital threats, and national cyber security incidents. The second is to enhance public understanding of cyber threats, online safety, digital risk mitigation, and also, more importantly, to use local language broadcasting and community outreach to be able to disseminate this information on cybercrime. The third pillar is to deepen collaboration and operational strategy and synergy between the media, the CSA, national security, and other law enforcing agencies to nip this crime in the bud. Finally, is to establish a responsive cyber security press corps that will be drawn from selected journalists across Ghana, leading media institutions, and also to create awareness among the citizenry. Our models are in 4 approaches. The first is Cybersecurity Foundation, understanding critical information infrastructure and also reporting for media practitioners. The second model will cover online fraud, crime threats, and reporting techniques. The fourth model will be an introduction to digital forensics for journalists and practitioners. Then finally, the fourth model will cover media ethics, law, child online protection, the infamous sextortion, incident reporting, as well as cybersecurity issues. So this is what the participants are expected to come up with. Each participant is required to complete and submit one journalistic report. It could be a news article, a featured article, a mini documentary, or news story. And based on this, we will publish and create awareness after the training. For you to become a member of this cybersecurity press corps, you must attend all the training sessions, which incidentally is beginning today after this our session. And you must complete and submit the reports that we have mentioned above, as well as to actively participate and discuss this. So the roadmap is simple. We have done an information session, which we did last week, 26th of July. Today is when we are launching officially the project. Then we would do the training from now to the end of August. Every week there will be a rollout of a session where participants are supposed to be in-house and trained. Then from there, we would now complete and submit your report for the project review team. Finally, we would launch the cyber security press corps. And that is the journey that we all want to get to. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, the project timeline, like has been already stated, will begin the first phase in Accra, which will cover this month of August. Then September next month, we'll roll it out to Kumasi and also interact with the media. So for today, we are glad to report around 60 media houses who are going to participate in this training. And I want to say kudos to everyone. A round of applause for us. Cybersecurity Press Corps will be launched after we have done with this project review. And on this note, I would want to thank our partners, the Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation. We also want to thank the Cybersecurity Authority. Please give it a round of applause to them. The Embassy of the Czech Republic with the Czech Aid and Transitions, as well as the Africa Center for Digital Transformation, where I belong, as well as KNUST, who are also here to help us. To conclude, ladies and gentlemen, the National Community Media Cyber Capacity Building Project presents a strategic intervention to decentralize cyber awareness in Ghana by empowering the most trusted communication channels, the media fraternity. By equipping the media, we believe that all journalists and all bloggers and all who play in the media space will be technically equipped, will be ethical in their practice and reporting to help us fight and prevent cybercrime across the continent and more specifically in Ghana. May the Lord bless us all. Thank you for your time.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause again for Mr. Emmanuel Ajari. Thank you so much, sir, for that detailed project overview. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by some honorable dignitaries, and I would like you to join me welcome Mr. Mohammed Adam Sikparu. He's the Deputy Minister for Ministry of Communications, Digital Technology and Innovations. Please let's acknowledge him. Thank you very much, sir, for coming. We also have Professor Emmanuel Edu Manu. He's with the Department of Computer Science at the University of Ghana. Sir, we are grateful for your attendance over here. We'd also like to acknowledge some delegation from Dubai, the Chamber of Commerce. Do we have anybody there, please? Thank you. Please, if you can rise up so we can acknowledge you. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you. Round of applause. We also have a delegation from the World Bank. delegation from the World Bank, as well as a delegation from the European Union. All right. And then, do we have a delegation from the Ghana Police Service? Okay, I'm told that they will be here in a matter of time. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you all to give yourselves a round of applause, especially our team from the media who are here today. We were told that 60 of you would be attending this detailed project to recognize the unique role that community media plays as the trusted voices closest to the people. Ladies and gentlemen, by empowering journalists with the knowledge, skills, and partnerships required to communicate cyber risk responsibilities, this project seems to strengthen public awareness, promote digital resilience, and foster strong cooperation among stakeholders in protecting Ghana's digital ecosystem. Without further ado, we'd also like to have a remark by the KNUST team. We have Professor Emmanuel Kofi Ekwa. He's the director at the KNUST E-Learning Center. Ladies and gentlemen, please a round of applause for him. Thank you, sir.
Your Excellency, Honorable Deputy Minister, security couples, and all dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to, I'm not a very good protocol person, so permit me to use the existing protocols. I bring you greetings from the Vice Chancellor and the entire KNUST community. Now, I dare say Ghana's premier science and technology university. I know some people in the crowd will not be happy with that, but it is what it is. Let's picture Ghana about 30 years ago. During that period, we would be speaking about Ghana's development through the infrastructure that we built, so roads, schools, bridges, and what have you. Now, when we are talking about Ghana's development, we are talking about what? Digital transformation. We are talking about fiber optics. We are talking about connecting the banks. We are talking about connecting mobile money wallets. We are talking about digital transformation. Just as all other developments that we have embarked on, most of these usually, unfortunately, result in some incidents. So the good roads that we built, usually we have road accidents, air transport, and all that. But then there is a quiet kind of incident happening that some of us do not really feel it. And that is the cyber security risk that we are all faced with. So currently we have mobile money fraud, identity thefts, sextortion, and misinformation that we sometimes dress them up as news and read about it in other countries. And now those things that used to happen in other countries is becoming a commonplace in our country. If we have built a digital road or highway to our future, I dare say that the cybersecurity risks that we see serves as a road tool that sits on our digital road, and people are using that to collect money quietly at our expense. We have been fighting this with different forms. So those of us in the technical area, we've been fighting this with all forms of infrastructure, firewalls, and all kinds of infrastructure. But one thing that we've left out is its citizen. And now I want to just tell you something that may shock you. That a nation's firewall is as strong as its most informed citizen. So you can imagine, despite all the infrastructure and all the things government will do, we are as strong as what? The most informed citizens. That is the millions of Ghanaians. The most informed citizen determines our strength as a nation in the cybersecurity environment. And if you're going to do this, we have to work with tools that are potent enough to win us that battle. I'm sure all of us would bear with me that this morning when you woke up, apart from those of us who diligently read our Bibles, most of us checked on a media station or listened to a news. Yes. Yeah, most of us checked on a media station, read a blog or something else. And in this particular fight, we have forgotten a particular potent weapon. That is journalists. We sometimes say that journalists are the fourth estates of the realm. But what we've forgotten is that they hold the key when it comes to informing or misinforming citizens. And so, if we want to win this fight in the cybersecurity arena, then it's just right that we arm our potent weapons, which are journalists, to do what they do best very well and effectively. And so, for us as KNUST, we see this project as timely, and we are prepared to bring on board all our experience, technical experience, and every resource at our disposal to make this very successful. Specifically, if we talk about our e-learning center, I, for instance, before I became the director of the e-learning center, I worked as the head of the Department of Computer Engineering. So you can imagine my bias. And I understand all the things that go into the cyber defense arena. And I know the things that work and things that don't work. And social engineering is one thing that is difficult to fight with any tool. And so for us at e-learning center, we say that we are coming on board with all the tools that take complex technical issues, simplify them using instruction design and digital pedagogy to ensure that even as we embark on this training, we will be able to reach even those who are who are not in here, and those who are here, to ensure continuous professional development. For us at KNUST, we say that working on this project is one of the things that we can do as far as giving to the society and our impact in the society is concerned. So in conclusion, I'll say that just as the world is changing, in the past we used to say that the pen was mightier than the sword. Is that really true now? I would say that we have to build a situation where the journalist who works in the media space is stronger than the malware that people sit in the dark spaces to release into the media spaces. We can only do this when we empower them through relevant information and capacity building. And we at KNUST are prepared to work in partnership on this project to ensure this objective is achieved. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Kofi Emmanuel Iwa. Thank you. Once again, please let's give him a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live on the Cybersecurity Authority's social media pages on Facebook and YouTube. So please do well to share with your friends, fellow colleague media partners as well. We have now come to one of the highlights of today's program, our high-level panel discussion on the theme, Enhancing Community Awareness and Strengthening Investigative Collaboration to Counter Violent Extremism, Emerging Digital Threats, and Cybercrime. This timely discussion brings together distinguished leaders from the cybersecurity, law enforcement, and national security sectors to share valuable insights on strengthening public awareness, enhancing investigative collaboration, and building national resilience against cybercrime and emerging security threats.
It is my honor to introduce our distinguished panelists for today's panel discussion. Our first panelist is a distinguished national security professional with extensive expertise in counterterrorism, intelligence coordination, and strategic security management. Throughout his career, he has played a critical role in strengthening Ghana's national security architecture and promoting interagency collaboration in responding to evolving security threats. Today, he will share valuable perspective on the importance of community awareness, intelligence sharing, responsible media engagement, and collaborative action in addressing violent extremism, emerging digital threats, and strengthening national resilience. Please join me welcome Major General Dr. Timothy Batabana, who is the Director for the National Counterterrorism Fusion Center. Sir, please. Please let's give it up for him as he takes a seat. Our next panelist is the president of the Private Newspaper and Online Publishers Association of Ghana, PRIMPAG. He is a private investigator, a business analyst, a trained legal advocate, and public interest activist with over 25 years of experience in journalism, media, consultancy, and strategic communications. Throughout his career, he has built a reputation for investigative journalism, media leadership, and business consultancy, and has contributed to public discourse on governance, business, tourism, and environmental issues. He will share valuable insights on the critical role of the media in preventing violent extremism and fostering informed public engagement to strengthen peace and national security. Please, with a round of applause, let's invite upstage to take his seat, Mr. David Sichope Tamaklo.
Ladies and gentlemen, to steer this important conversation, it is my pleasure to introduce our moderator, Mr. Benjamin Avoniche. He is the Acting Director for International Corporations and Strategic Partnerships at the Cybersecurity Authority. Ladies and gentlemen, he brings a wealth of experience in strategic communications, stakeholder engagements, and public policy advocacy. His expertise in fostering partnerships and facilitating high-level dialogue makes him exceptionally well-suited to moderate today's discussion. He will guide our distinguished panelists through an engaging conversation on the role of community media, cybersecurity, and multi-stakeholder collaboration in countering violent extremism, combating cybercrime, and strengthening Ghana's digital and national security resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me welcome by giving me a well-deserved round of applause, Mr. Benjamin, together with our distinguished panelists.
Hello, good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us, and more particularly our friends from the media for joining today's event. Let me first of all welcome our panelists, General, Dr. Batabana. Thanks so much. I know how busy your schedules are, but you decided to be with us today. And to Mr. David, President of PRIMPAG. The notice came to you a bit late, but you still made time to join us. I think that we would be waiting for Madam Lydia Yadonko, who is supposed to be with us, but she understands she's on her way here, so we can go ahead while she joins us. General, first of all, where you sit, there are quite a number of violent extremism that has now moved online in terms of how threat actors are exploiting online platform to carry out recruitment, financing, propaganda, among others. The question that we want to understand is, where is the country's position, and whether indeed we are adjusting towards tackling some of these challenges from where you sit?
All right. For a moment, Mike wanted to give up on me. So it's good to be here and in the presence of our Deputy Minister and the DG. So good morning to you all, and good morning to my colleague here. It's always an honor for the National Security Council Secretariat to have an audience, especially if it includes the media. You would have recognized that in recent times we have been very active with our media engagements because, like our moderators said earlier, the sort of threat we face cannot be fought by one single institution, so we need everybody on board. And therefore, much as I was still mentioning, see something, say something, It's just an indication that we need everybody's effort to be able to scale it. Now, specifically to your question about violent extremism and its relationship with the media space and that of cyberspace as well. When we talk about violent extremism and then terror, they aren't just ordinary English words. They have manifestations that are more complex and that we need a bit more of time to imbibe. The complexity is such that their effect is not felt only on the physical body of the citizen. If it were just an issue of the effect being felt or the impact being felt on the physical body of the citizen, then we would have said that no one else has a role to play than the police and other law enforcement agencies. But it goes beyond the physical nature of the individual. In fact, they want to work on the psyche of our citizens. We have well over 40% of our population being in the youth brackets, and they are very media savvy. The media tools they use are so complex. And the issue here is that the terrorists also and other violent extremist groups also have been able to make this realization. And therefore, they try to reach out. Online tools they use to try to get converts, first by beginning to radicalize them, and eventually, after you have been radicalized sufficiently, have you recruited into their ranks so that you can help them carry out their missions. And that's why we worried about it. And that's why we say that everybody should get on board. And we're happy with this program that ACDT is running in collaboration with the Cybersecurity Authority and the ministry to help us in this overall fight. We need everybody's hands on board. As you mentioned, if we are able to take away, for instance, the oxygen from their system, terrorism will collapse. And what's the oxygen? The oxygen is funds. The terrorists can't do what they do today without funding. And they have developed sophisticated ways of getting funding to them. Remember, there is a symbiotic relationship between transnational organized crime and terrorism. So much of the funding that goes into organized crime really ends up in the hands of terrorists. We do not have too much time to make all the explanations, but there's a relationship between organized crime and funding that goes in there, and how that funding eventually ends up in the hands of the terrorists. The terrorists need to finance their procurements, they need to finance their operations, they need to finance their recruitment processes. And all this they try to do using sophisticated cyber tools. Thank you.
All right, thank you, General. A round of applause for him. Let me quickly bring in David. You've listened to the General's position and some of the challenges that we're confronted with so far as extremism is concerned. Your end, as the president of Primpark, provide a platform where people get information, particularly in our local communities and all of that. This information, sometimes the way the media reports it, there was a recent situation where there was a case that the Cybersecurity Authority was handling. I mean, they just went to court, and I think the media accessed that information, and the manner in which it was reported, they gave out too much information that even could lead to jeopardizing the investigation that was ongoing. I want to find out from you, what role is your institution playing to try to see how we can have responsible reporting so far as such sensitive issues of cybersecurity is concerned?
Thank you, Benji. Good morning, all of you. Thank you once more for the question. In fact, when I was listening to the ACPT director speech,
I think you should check the.
to ACPT test, it was clear that we all have experienced one way or the other of the risks we all encounter encounter with cyber security. I think from the issues of calls, prank calls, from issues of terrorism, counter-terrorism, we all know recently the mention of cyber risk, terrorism risk along our borders from Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, and the neighboring countries. We all have experienced, from one way or the other, cyber risks. And for that reason, we all understand what the media's role is. The media's role is to inform and educate. How does the media get to inform and educate if they don't understand the risks we are all facing? And of course, we all understand now that over 27 million people have access to the internet one way or the other. And these are the vehicles for the cyber issues we all face. So they need to be educated as much as the media need to be educated. And that's why I believe the role you are playing now, this workshop, training, capacity building, would help a lot in helping the media, the public, understand some of these things. Often, we have, in recent times, we've participated in different events, capacity building events, but it seems they are all not very coordinated enough to help us in our work. I look at a very simple rule that the media applies when in all other fields, and it would apply to the cyber capacity building as well. The rule of calm. That's how first of all, to ensure that we verify information that we put out there, and make sure that the information we put out there are facts, but not just allegations or some whispering from anywhere, or things that we chanced on the internet and feed the public with. We need to verify this information.
I mean, knowing how sensitive such issues can get.
Certainly. We need to verify some of this information and make sure they are facts. We verify it from people of authority. We ensure that the sources are accurate sources. They are sources that we can independently verify before putting them out there. We also, of course, must be aware that it is not our role to alarm the public. We are to inform the public in a way that we do not end up amplifying some of the, for instance, in the sense of terrorism, we do not end up amplifying some of the risks that we are trying to avoid. So it's important when you are using the simple rule of calm that you do not amplify some of those threats rather than informing the public. And then we also need to localize the messages we give out so that when you are going to my village, Godwave, you don't go and be speaking Twi there or be sending information on a platform that is not accessible to them. And aside that, we also need to empower the public to be confident about what they should do when the risk occurs, so that they should be part of the public. They should be able to help convey some of this information, inform the authorities who are supposed to do something about it, so that they don't just consume the risk and leave it there. They should play it back to, for instance, CSA, CID, and all other authorities that are required to know about them. So basically, as the media, our work is to help disseminate, but we must first be informed, and that's why I find this program very intuitive for the start.
Great. I would go back to, thanks for your submission. General, where do we need to draw the thin line between how the media report on issues of this nature that borders on your work, and at what point do you think that the kind of work you do and the information that goes out, because then the media is also looking at we're trying to provide information to the public as against what ought to be reported. From where you see it, how does these reports and how it is done affect your work?
I think as a people, we haven't done badly, but we can do better. And that's one of the reasons why, I mean, in recent times, the National Security Coordinator has amplified the media engagements we have. In actual fact, I think in 2 weeks' time, on the 15th, we'll be in the Bono region. 2 weeks ago, we were in Modern City in Tamale. We have met the media fraternity several times here in Accra. You can't stop the engagement at any point in time and say you have had enough. At all points in time, we have new media practitioners joining the fraternity. So the president here and his people, or his generation, could have been very well trained and understand the nuances of what is national security and what is also their media rights. But the moment you stop the engagements, the new people who join certainly would lose out.
Because you know there's always that tension between what the media is reporting and its national security implications.
Yeah.
More importantly, now that it has to do with digital media reports and also cybersecurity and the threat, actors that we are engaging. There's always that thin line where journalists are minded by what to report, because sometimes you cross the line and they say these are national security issues that you are reporting about, and for which reason, journalists sometimes are arrested and all of that. That's why I'm asking that at what point, where do we draw the line in terms of what they can talk about, and do you think that a collaboration between, for example, the Cybersecurity Authority, your end, and the media will become so important in that when news of this nature come up, we can quickly relate with each other to know exactly what kind of information that must go out, so that the journalists do not always, most of the time, cross the line?
Excellent. So that's what I said. So far, we haven't done badly. No matter what the perception that one may have as an individual. If you compare what we are doing, the relationship between us and the media, and then what the output till this point in time, it hasn't been bad at all. But as I mentioned, we can do better, and then we should work at doing better. When we engage the media, I mean, and I believe some of them are in here who have been in our earlier engagements, we have set out contact persons, contact points, that when you have doubts, you can have those clarifications as fast as possible. It isn't possible to draw a particular line and say beyond this. It's not exhaustive, the amount of information that comes to the media. And then, as you know, time is of essence for them. But of course, the state of security of their own environment is also paramount, because they need a secure environment to be able to operate properly. It is a matter of the continuity of these engagements that would, finally solve any hazy relationship or questions, hazy issues that may exist between the institutions. The media can't do without national security. Neither can national security be reinforced without the media, because it's a symbiotic relationship. When we say national security, what is it? It is a concept of a collective possession and protection of the nation's interest. And the nation's interest includes the media interest. Very often we look at national security as an institution. It isn't an institution, it's a concept that embraces all facets of our society. Our value systems are protected by that concept. And that is why, whether the formal sector or informal sector, they are all parts of the collective concept of national security. Our nation is only about 700,000 of us that are in the public sector. The rest of the 32 million are in the informal sector. So when we talk about national security, you can't ignore the bigger percentage that is in the informal sector. Who communicates? The software. Thank God we are in the cyberspace now. Yeah. We have hardware, and we have softwares. So what makes your computer really function is the software, not so. So you have your UPS, or what do you call it, Stephen? You have the screen, you have your keyboard. They are all useless if the software doesn't work out. In this case, if you talk about the nation, we have the administrative class, we have the political class, we have the social class, and then we have, of course, the informal sector. The software that will link us all up is communication. It's intangible. And who are the movers of communication? It's the media. So you cannot ignore them. But they need to understand that they need an environment that is safe for them to be able to go about their own activities freely. There is not supposed to be any antagonistic relationship between any of the institutions within that framework. But where we have misunderstanding of our own rules and then the responsibilities that the whole system places on us, that's when we have frosty relations. And as I mentioned, it's better we continuously agree that we must continue. It shouldn't be an event. Engagements like this should not be an event. It shouldn't end ACDT after this program. If we take it as an event, then we will fail. There must be always the next steps. As I mentioned, we didn't have all the media houses here. You said 60 of them are in here. And there are millions in the country. So if you take it as an event and the event is over, fait accompli, in that case, you fail.
Thank you very much for that important submission. And you mentioned the point of contact that you've established with the media. I want to draw the attention of our audience to pay attention to the banner, the CSA, the cybersecurity banner that has our point of contact, more importantly, the 292 point of contact. If you have any issue you want to report, there's a 24-hour team at the Cybersecurity Authority that you can call on those numbers or send an email or WhatsApp to them and they'll respond to you. Back to you, Mr. David. The essence of ethical media reporting also becomes a very important question because the issue you are reporting on are very sensitive, like General has mentioned. Whilst we continue to deepen relationships and collaboration and all of that, at what point do you think your organization, the private media, must begin to see the reporting of news of this nature more as a national assignment rather than let's put out the breaking news is out, let's report, let's say this one is a cyber attack, even sometimes without verifying. At what point do you think that we need to close our relationship so far as ethical reporting is concerned?
All right, thank you. Before I come on that question, I would like to, so I don't lose my thoughts on what General just said about how they train the media all the time. I've participated in a number of trainings relating to terrorism, counter-terrorism, and cyber security. But often what I think we are doing is we bring the journalists, train them, and then they go out there, cover whatever they have to cover. They go back to their media houses. The editors probably are not privy to what they have gone to learn. And if it's even, they are even privy to it, it's just a one-time thing. So we keep training, but the how to get these stories well coordinated is not happening. I think that if we establish partnership between the media and the security services or other agencies, rather than just training them, it might help so that we have media cyber security platform
and I think that
framework.
That's why the establishment of the cybersecurity press corps is where you are directing it.
The press corps, yes, is just one end of it. But if you have a platform that supervises, for instance, when an issue of a cyber issue occurs, somebody needs to be verified. From who are they going to verify these things? So it's important that we set up desks that we can verify this information. Also be mindful that, as you mentioned earlier, it's important not to make it look like the media is just taking a feed from government agencies, so it doesn't look balanced. We have a clear line between how a journalist must be independent and all that. So to balance it, if we have a desk that we can all cross-check what the authenticity of some of this information, and then add our independently verified side of the verification, it helps. So we should not see the media as just people who should consume what we have as intelligence or what we have as cyber information. They should be part of the building of whatever information is, because they must also verify this independently as the Constitution, requires. Back to the ethical thing, I think media practitioners, we are required to do everything in the interest of the public. And so if it's not in the interest of the public, it is not necessarily news or something that, is useful for the public. So everything we do must be in the interest of the public, and that's where the ethical issues come in. You must, if you must protect people's interests, you must protect the public's interests, you must protect your sources and all that. So this is where the ethical requirement is embedded. You need to be sure that whoever is giving you the story, you may have a very trusted source, but the source can give you a wrong information because he probably has gotten a wrong information himself. So it's always important that we ensure that what we are publishing is not just some allegation. If it's an allegation, you need to state it clearly, because there are times that the issue is occurring and you think that if you don't let the public know, the damage must be caused by the time you get the whole file. So if it is some allegation, you need to verify, but you must also state the state of that information you have, so you don't end up misleading the public. So the ethical requirement is the baseline of every journalistic work. So I don't know if I've responded to you.
Yes, you have. This program is lasting for, I think, the next 3 days in terms of the intensive training that will go on for our journalists. I understand about 60 of those media houses have registered to participate in the training. General, I want to take your last remarks on what you think the way forward, should be. And like you mentioned, you said it shouldn't be an event, and that there must be a continual, engagement across board. And you drew the attention of our friends from the African Center for Digital Transformation. What would be your last words on this?
All right. So thank you for the opportunity. We of the National Security Council Secretariat, we are always available, and we will always make our presence felt when you give us an opportunity to contribute to the training of whatever stakeholder that is available. For this program is that of the media. And as I mentioned, for quite some time now, we have been engaging members of the media because of the important role they play in ensuring the safety and security of our country. We do not take it for granted, but there's a requirement for us all to be humble across board, to know that the nuances of the various threats that our country face require a bit more of in-depth collaboration between our various systems, institutions, and other stakeholders, and even partners in fashioning out the strategies that will continue to make our country what it is. There's no better time to be a Ghanaian maybe than now. The reality of it is that we find ourselves sandwiched in a very turbulent environment. And whatever security we are enjoying today didn't drop by accident. It is through the conscious activities that we have had across institutions, from the education sector, through the market women, through the security services, and to those of you who operate in the cyberspace. The fine mix of all these efforts is what has bequeathed us till this morning the stable and secure country that we have. And as I mentioned, the media plays a very critical role. So building capacity of the media it is a plus for us, and we should commend ACDT for the initiative and encourage them to do better and across the country. I saw that you say you'll be going to Kumasi. You have to go beyond Kumasi as, if possible. Resources permitting. Don't ask us for resources in any case. We don't have resources to provide you. But we want to encourage you that we cherish what you are doing for our people. You cherish what you are contributing in terms of knowledge for the security of our country. And as I mentioned, just to encourage my colleagues in the media one last time, let's be humble. Let's learn all the tools. You are already so knowledgeable in all the domains, but maybe less knowledgeable in cyber issues. And the ACDT is here to help us get a bit more of knowledge again in the cyber space that will help us to be much more effective. As I mentioned, the terrorists we fight across the world are using cyber tools. For us to outwit them, we must also learn the cyber tools. And this is one of the opportunities given us. So thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. General David, quick one before you. What are your final words on this event, and how are you going to encourage your members to participate in the training?
Thank you. I will encourage all the participants to be very, very committed to this program. Cyber security is a bit technical, and if you are going to explain this to the public, you need to pay attention and learn what is in there. It entails a lot. It provides a lot of opening to learn new things. Let's pay attention. It's not a touch and go thing. It's something you have to keep learning over time to get used to it. So I congratulate you first and foremost for having this opportunity. Take it seriously so other people can also benefit from it. For General, if you don't have more money for it, it's a national security. They have endless budget. I'm sure he will help you.
He said we shouldn't come and ask you money, but we'll come and ask. Anyways, thank you very much, and thank you to everybody for joining us for this panel discussion. We look forward to our media, particularly your people, joining in the training in the coming days. Thank you very much, and we're grateful.
Thank you very much. Please let's give them a round of applause as they get seated. Thank you. I think one of the key things that was said was that there's no better time to be a Ghanaian than now. Did we all take that? Did we all know that? And it was also noted that it is important for us to localize messages that are given out, as well as not to alarm, but inform the public. I think that those were very pivotal discussions, and we want to say thank you once again to our panelists. A round of applause once again for them. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will come to a time of receiving a keynote address. Our next speaker needs little introduction. Under his leadership, the Cybersecurity Authority continues to advance Ghana's national cybersecurity agenda while championing public awareness, institutional resilience, and international cooperation. Please join me in welcoming the Director General of the Cybersecurity Authority, Mr. Divine Selassie Agbati, to deliver the keynote address on the August event. Please welcome with a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that was a very informative session we had on the stage. Honorable Deputy Minister and His Excellency, please permit me to stand on existing protocols and dive straight in. Cybersecurity, earlier, the board member from ACDT mentioned. Social engineering is, and it looks like it will remain the most difficult threat to tackle, because the adversaries, what they do is to steady you. In military terms, they do recce. They do their reconnaissance. So if you keep posting everything on social media, they take 3 months, 4 months. They study your pictures, your events, where you go to, the schools, the year you graduated, the courses you have done. They take their time. And some of your schoolmates commenting on your posts. Oh, it's been a long time. After 20 years, we haven't met. They read all that. So when they decide to launch, they launch very well. And they work on your psychology. Oh, you don't remember me? I am Ben. We went to this school. I was in your class. We were in 3D1, languages. And, oh, you still don't remember me? I was the fair guy, the slim one in the corner. And, oh, I remember your best friend was Benny's. Oh, yeah. So then they begin to build their confidence. Now, then you begin to engage. Oh, Ben, so what do you do now? I'm a military general. I'm currently in Lebanon. I'm actually on operations. But I don't do social media. Then now I can use AI to design a very nice photograph in a military general uniform I sent to you, and you're excited. By that time, I already know that you're divorced. So I'll intentionally ask, how is your family doing, etc. And I'll let you know that, oh, myself, I'm divorced and I'm looking for a partner. I'll be back from Lebanon in 3 months. And I've been here for the last 9 months. Then you're excited. I'll ship a car to you from Lebanon. You don't have to pay anything. And you're also excited you got a new boyfriend who is a major general in Lebanon. He's coming back. You are there and you receive, how do they call that bag? Is it Eco, whatever, those briefcases, the Ecolag. You receive 2. And then I send you a message that we just landed, but we are going to do debriefing in Kumasi or Takrady, a Pramdo military base. Of course, you might be very educated, but these guys, they work on psychology. So the next thing you do, you're excited, but you don't know the code to open the bags. He sends you a message, all my dollars, USDs are in those bags, keep them. However, I need some CDs to clear the car at Takrady port. I want to sort it out before I come to Accra next week. Can you send me 200,000? If you don't have it, just find a way to send it. But you still haven't seen the person before. You've been talking. And his bags are in your house. You don't know whether you have stones. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is a very serious moment. So let us not behave as if we are smart. These guys, they learn. They study you. They just don't call you. They just don't launch their attacks. They spend days, weeks, months on social media studying you. So me, when you go to my social media page, come back and tell me my girlfriend's name or my wife's name or my children's name. You will not have one. You will not. So you need to know what you post is very important about yourselves. And you also need to know what information you put out there. When you're having heartbreaks, don't be putting them on social media because they are learning you. And they know how to come in as a comforter. And you will think you found heaven. All right. Okay. It is a privilege to join you today for this launch of the National Community Media Cyber Capacity Building Project. As Ghana accelerates its digital transformation, Technology is creating enormous opportunities for economic growth, innovation, and national development. Yet the same technologies are also creating new opportunities for us. At the same time, opportunities for the criminals also. Today, cybercrime is no longer a distant problem. It affects ordinary Ghanaians every day. Mobile money fraud, online investment scams, like the recent one. I know a lot of PhD holders that are affected as well. So when we are doing awareness creation, let us not act as if this awareness creation is for those who are the informal sector. Romance fraud, identity theft, sextortion, business email compromise, and impersonation are now common. Behind many of these crimes are organized criminal networks operating across borders. And they are really organized. So, from the scenario I gave you, a taxi driver will deliver the Ecolag. That taxi driver is part of their syndicate. They have people who sell SIM cards to them. They are part of the syndicate. It's very organized. The Cybersecurity Authority, in close collaboration with the Ghana Police Service, National Security, EOCO, NSB, the BNI, and of course, our international partners, has intensified operations against these criminal networks. Recent arrests and prosecutions demonstrate an important truth. Cybercrime is organized crime, and defeating it requires organized collaboration. Ladies and gentlemen, one of our strongest partners in this fight is the media. The media does far more than reporting incidents. You prevent them. A single radio discussion in a local language can prevent thousands of people from becoming victims of fraud. A television interview can expose a news scam before it spreads nationwide. Accurate and responsible reporting can protect lives, businesses, and even national security. That is why we must build a media community that understands cybersecurity and can communicate these issues accurately, responsibly, and of course, with confidence. This responsibility has become even more important as cyber threats increasingly intersect with organized crime, violent extremism, and terrorism, as we heard from the earlier session. Criminal and extremist groups now use digital platforms to spread propaganda, recruit followers, raise funds, and manipulate public opinion. The media, therefore, has a critical responsibility to inform the public without spreading fear, to expose harmful activities without amplifying criminal or extremist messages, and to educate citizens on recognizing and resisting online manipulation. This is exactly why this project is so important. We are not simply teaching cybersecurity concepts. We are building a national network of journalists and media personalities who will become trusted voices for cybersecurity awareness across Ghana. These journalists and media personalities will help translate technical information into practical advice that every Ghanaian can understand, whether they live in Accra, Kumasi, Tamale, Wa, Ho, or in the smallest rural community. Our vision is simple. Every Ghanaian should have the knowledge to stay safe online. Ladies and gentlemen, the planned establishment of a cybersecurity press corps is a significant milestone. We envision a dedicated network of journalists who understand cyber threats, appreciate their national security implications, and report them accurately, responsibly, and consistently. When new cyber threats emerge, they will help ensure that the public receives timely and accurate information. When cyber criminals are arrested, they will help citizens understand why these operations matter. And when new scams appear, they will help people protect themselves before they become victims. I encourage every participant in this program to embrace this opportunity, learn, ask questions, challenge ideas, build your expertise. The knowledge you gain here could prevent countless Ghanaians from becoming victims of cybercrime. Let me express my sincere appreciation to the ACDT for its vision and partnership in bringing this important initiative to fruition. I also extend our heartfelt gratitude to His Excellency the Ambassador and the Embassy of the Czech Republic. Your Excellency, thanks so much for your generous support. I'm sure you heard from the stage, it looks like we may need more support. We really appreciate. In fact, can we all applaud the Ambassador and the Embassy of the Czech Republic? They are one of our key allies when it comes to cybersecurity. They have been supporting cybersecurity activities in the ecosystem. This is not the first time. Not only in supporting this program, they provided serious modern-day cybersecurity tooling to this country in many ways. They provided some scholarships. We are still discussing more on cybersecurity scholarship and developments. And we have a lot of engagements with the Czech Republic when it comes to cybersecurity development in Ghana. So thank you once again, HE, for supporting these activities in Ghana, when we do not take them lightly. And of course, I would like to also thank the media. You have been doing extremely well, and because of you, Ghana is doing very well when it comes to cybersecurity. And when we do check, it looks like those who don't take the information from you, because they think they have been to university and you are not talking to them, they're the ones now who call us that they have been scammed and that their WhatsApp have been taken over. Those in our local communities tend to be smarter nowadays, and they tend to ask questions before they act. So thank you very much for your efforts, and we do appreciate you so much. And of course, our industry and our ministry. Thank you so much, Mr. C.K. Bruce and your team, for your hard work in building capacity in the ecosystem. Finally, I would like to thank all our security agencies, law enforcement institutions, and partners whose continued collaboration remains essential to safeguarding Ghana's cyberspace. Ladies and gentlemen, cybersecurity is not the government's responsibility alone. It is a shared national responsibility. When government, law enforcement, industry, civil society, and the media work together, cyber criminals have fewer places to hide, and our citizens become safer. Together, let us build a cyber-aware, cyber-resilient, and cyber-secure Ghana. Thank you, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana.
Ladies and gentlemen, you would agree with me that that was a very detailed and practical keynote address by our Director General. Can we give him a round of applause once again? Thank you very much, sir. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say we are about to listen to a solidarity message, basically from the man of the moment. He's the ambassador of the Czech Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Pavel Bilek. A round of applause, please.
Thank you. Good morning to all of you. Honorable Mohamed Adam Sukparu, Deputy Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, distinguished Mr. Divine Salase Agbeti, Director General of the Cybersecurity Authority, distinguished Mr. Emmanuel Aciare, Director of ACDT. So it's a great honor for me to be here today as an ambassador of the Czech Republic to Ghana on the occasion of the launch of these very useful projects. I would like to highly appreciate the work of Africa Center for Digital Transformation in preparing this project. It's important, is reflected also by the participation of such prominent guests here today. This project is part of ongoing efficient cooperation between the Czech Republic and Ghana, as already mentioned. This is ongoing for several years in this field of cybersecurity. As already mentioned, this project is founded by the Czech government, by its Czech development agency, Czech Aid. My country and Ghana, we are traditional partners for decades. And recently we decided also to build a practical and trust-based partnership in area of cybersecurity. This cooperation has been successfully developing already for more than 4 years. Czech Republic identified Ghana as a priority partner in Africa in area of cybersecurity. Ghana is a regional leader, stable partner, but also a country which is facing real and rapidly evolving cyber threats. We offered you to share experience, support practical needs, and work with Kenyan partners on solutions that can make a real difference. We share our experience, we help you with the modern equipment, and now we help you also to spread the awareness of danger of cybercrime among the public. Cybercrime is no longer a distant or purely technical issue. It affects citizens, businesses, public institutions, financial services, children, and the trust people have in the digital space. For this reason, cyber capacity building is not only a technology, is not only about technology. It is also about security, public trust, institutional resilience, responsible communication, and protection of citizens. We have our own experience in the Czech Republic with cybercrime, digital fraud, disinformation, and attacks against public institutions. This is why we understand how important is it to build a strong national capacities before threats become even more damaging. Ladies and gentlemen, as already mentioned, cooperation between the Czech and Ghanaian experts started 4 years ago, and Mr. Director General also mentioned it, that we try to help you in different sectors of this area. We started with the professional exchanges and training. Ghanaian experts engaged with the Czech colleagues from the Institute of Criminalistics in Prague and in the National Theatre for Organized Crime from the police of the Czech Republic. Ghanaian cybercrime experts visited Prague Czech specialists repeatedly came to Accra. This engagement helped create a strong professional basis for further cooperation between Ghanaian and Czech law enforcement specialists. The training and exchange of know-how were an important beginning, but they also showed one practical need very clearly. Trained experts need more adequate tools to use their knowledge effectively. This is where the Czech program, which is called CyberVac, came in. So this program, financed by the government of the Czech Republic, we were able to provide practical support responding to the operational needs of the cybercrime unit of the Ghana Police Service. In May of this year, Czechia provided the Ghanaian cybercrime unit with specialized hardware and forensic software with almost 450,000 Ghanaian cedis. The package included a professional mobile forensic solutions from one of the Czech leading companies and included equipment for all-in-one solution for data extraction from phones, smartwatches, and cloud services, and connection hardware for safe work with examined devices. In practice, this equipment helps Ghanaian experts extract, process, analyze, and interpret data from mobile phones and related digital platforms that may contain important evidence. The purpose is clear: to help investigators work more effectively with digital evidence and to support stronger, more reliable evidence for court proceedings. This training allows the knowledge to remain within Ghana Police Service and to be passed on to other colleagues over time. This is exactly how Czechia understands capacity building, not as one-off delivery, but as a combination of expertise, tools, training, and long-term partnership. Ladies and gentlemen, now that we help Ghanaian experts to get stronger tools to investigate cybercrime, we also want to help you to bring cyber awareness closer to the public. This is why the new Transformation Cooperation Project with Africa Center for Digital Transformation, ACDT, is so important. The ACDT came forward with a strong, useful, and well-designed project. Czechia selected it because of its quality and practical relevance. We regard ACDT as a respected and reliable partner. I would like to thank you and your leadership for this initiative, but also professionalism, commitment to strengthening Ghana's digital resilience. As already mentioned, this project is financed by the government of the Czech Republic as part of our support for Ghana's cybersecurity and public resilience. The project connects three areas that belong together: cybersecurity building, media development, and responsible public communication. Fighting cybercrimes cannot be done by law enforcement alone. Citizens need to know how to recognize risks. Journalists should be able to report accurately. Institutions need to communicate clearly and responsibly. This is where media development becomes essential. Professional and well-informed media help citizens understand risks, recognize scams, and make safer choices online. In the digital age, media are not only observers of cyber threats, they are also educators, early warning actors, and bridges between institutions and communities. The ACDT projects responds to real challenges in Ghana, including mobile money fraud, online impersonation scams, digital misinformation, and cyber-enabled crimes affecting vulnerable communities. The project will bring together experienced Ghana cyber experts and senior journalists who will share their knowledge and expertise with media practitioners from across the country. Training, as already mentioned, will take place in Accra and Kumasi and will involve media houses from major national outlets as well as regional and community media. According to the projects, more than 100 journalists and media practitioners are expected to benefit directly from the training with the participation of tens of media houses and community radio representatives. This matters because community radio and local media remain about the most trusted and accessible sources of information for many people, especially outside major cities. By working with journalists, the project can bring practical information about cyber risks not only to Accra and Kumasi, but also to regions, districts, and communities where public awareness is often most needed. The project will help journalists better understand cyber threats, online fraud, scams, misinformation, child online protection issues, and responsible reporting on cybercrime. It will also support reporting that is accurate, ethical, and useful to the public, including in local languages and formats people can easily understand. Better informed journalists can support better informed citizens. Better informed citizens are less vulnerable to fraud, manipulation, and online abuse. This is also a practical contribution to good governance. When citizens receive reliable information and institutions respond effectively to digital threats, society becomes more resilient. Ladies and gentlemen, cyber threats are spreading rapidly across Africa. Criminal networks, online fraud, and digital manipulation do not stop at borders. Czechia has dealt with many of these challenges at home and in cooperation with international partners. This experience is what we are sharing with Ghana. Our ambition is practical: to support Ghanaian partners with relevant expertise, useful tools, and projects that can be owned, used, and developed further in Ghana. This is the spirit of Czech-Ghanaian cooperation: practical, respectful, long-term, and focused on people. Our shared goal is clear: a safer digital space, stronger public trust, more resilient institutions, and better protection for citizens. Czechia is proud to be Ghana's partners in this effort, and we look forward to continuing this cooperation in the months and years ahead. Finally, let me express my confidence that this project will be very successful and will effectively help find cybercrime in Ghana. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Please, let's continue clapping for him as he takes his seat. Ghana is grateful for your support. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to invite our guest of honor, who together with the Honorable Minister under which this agency sits, continue to lead in shaping Ghana's digital transformation agenda and strengthen the country's commitment to innovation and cybersecurity. Please, with a resounding round of applause, let's welcome Honorable Mohammed Adam Sikaru, the Deputy Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations, as well as the Member of Parliament for Sisala, to give us his address. Please, let's give it up for him.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Today, I am glad that we are launching this very important program, most especially that it has to do with community. And those of us from the remote areas. I suffered cyber attack in 2024 general election, let me put it this way. Not personally, but I was denying a full family, numbering almost 50 to 60 votes, just because I was telling a certain teacher that what he was engaging on was a scam. And so, because I told them the truth, the entire family said I was denying them their progress. This is the story. A teacher who lives in my constituency, Sisala West, and his family had approached me that the said young teacher, former schoolmate in senior high school, just like Divine Riley said when he was giving his speech, colleague had traveled abroad, and they've later met on social media, and there were communications between them, and the guy had expressed interest in supporting him. And so the guy had told him that he was going to ship a vehicle to support the teacher, and he was going to bear every cost, right from procuring, shipping it to Ghana. And when the vehicle gets to Ghana, the teacher must also look for money and pay for the custom duties. And that he wanted to help him to establish a transport business between Golu and Wa, whoever that knows. If you've ever been to Sisala West, this is about 2 hours journey from Golu to Wa. And then the particular vehicle was going to be a Novan, that he was going to use it to do transport business. So the said colleague sent document to the teacher, bill of lading, that the vehicle had arrived in Tama Port. Fortunately for me, I have worked with DHL Ghana, and I have little experience when it comes to shipping, studying airway bills, BL. So I was there, and then the family came to me in my village. I was in the constituency during the campaign period, and then they told me that their son had received a vehicle from his friend from the United States, and that what he needed to do is to pay the custom duties and take possession of the vehicle. So I inquired further to know whether if the teacher himself bought the vehicle. They said no. I interrogated the teacher, and he told me that, the guy is his former schoolmate who met him on social media. It's been very long. Apparently, the guy studied how he communicates on social media, the people he communicates with his other schoolmates. And so the guy used all those tricks on him. And the guy actually even picked his phone number from the Facebook. So those of us that are creating, when you are creating Facebook and you are asked to put your contact, when you put those contact there, they pick it, and that is what they will use to come after you. So when I listened to the story, so I asked to know the location of the vehicle, whether the ship had arrived in Ghana. He said yes. So I wanted to see the bill of lading. He sent it to me. So I quickly tracked. When I tracked the shipment, I realized that it was an old bill of lading that they had picked and scanned, taking the importer address out, now putting the guy's address. So I told them that this is a scam. The family wouldn't listen to me. I said, no, this money you are looking from me, this is an election period. For me to give you, they said they needed 100,000 Ghana cedis. I said, this is a scam. The family said, no, I was not ready to support them. I did everything. So I told them, it is not about supporting you. If this is real, if I don't even have money, I will take you somewhere, even to grant for you to take a loan somewhere to go and pay and take this. I know this is going to, improve about your livelihood. They never listened to me. I tried to educate them. They left my house. And then they went, they had a family meeting. And when the guy was delaying, the supposed former colleague of his was calling him, telling him that if he wouldn't do it early, it will further attract demurrage. And the guy said he was taking a loan at the bank. He said, no, loan at the bank, it would delay. He wouldn't be able to get the loan within that same week if he could get money from someone else so that he could take the loan and later pay the person. You can imagine a teacher. I'm not saying teachers, I mean, we understand, you know, a teacher taking a loan of 100,000. So the family had to resort to other people. And that became a campaign message against me. My opponent used it against me in that particular family. We heard that when you approach the MP to support you, he didn't mind you. This is the reason why we want you to vote him out. How much is 100,000? A member of parliament cannot give it out to support somebody who is getting a vehicle. I suffered. They voted against me. But by the grace of God, I won my elections. But later, they got to realize that the MP was telling them the truth. When they took the money from people and then sent the money to a supposed clearing agent who said he needed that amount of money to clear the vehicle. The guy sent the money. He traveled all the way from my constituency to Accra. He's been in Tama for more than 2 weeks. If the number is on, maybe today as I speak. When he got to Accra, he started calling. The number was off. Up to now, the number does not go through. They voted against me. I suffered. They also suffered. And so I'm glad that we are taking this conversation to the communities. At least we'll be able to educate people. Some of the stories, when you hear it, it's heartbreaking. I mean, it is real. Cyber crimes are everywhere. And it doesn't matter who you are. Whether you are a PhD holder or my brother sitting a major general, he can be attacked himself, even the director general himself. I've just been told somewhere last week, 2 chief executive officers of this government and 1 deputy were scammed. Just last week. The director general just mentioned that to me. So it is very real. And so the media, we need you to really support us to be able to fight this. The Director General and his team are doing well. Almost every stakeholder, as far as cybercrime is concerned, the security agencies are all doing well. But the media, the most important thing we need to do is the education. Education. And it is only the media that can help us to achieve this. So the ambassador of the Czech Republic to Ghana, His Excellency Pavel Balek, Director General of the Cyber Security, my own brother and friend, Mr. Divine Salasi Agbeti. I'm told the Director General of the Criminal Investigation Department, COP, Lydia Donko, is on her way here. The Director of the National Counter-Terrorism Fusion Center, Major General Dr. Timothy Tufukro Bata Bana, my brother, the representative of the African Center for Digital Transformation, Mr. Emmanuel Ajari, development partners, distinguished representatives of the security services, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocol respectfully observed. Good morning. I bring you greetings from the Honorable Minister Samuel Nate George, the Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations, who would have wished to be here. It is a great honor to join you today for the official launch of the National Community Media Cyber Capacity Building Project. This important national initiative reflects our shared commitment to building a skilled, resilient, and inclusive digital Ghana. At the outset, I command the Cybersecurity Authority, led by my good brother and friend, Mr. Divine Salasi Agbeti, the Africa Center for Digital Transformation, and the government of the Czech Republic for bringing together government institutions, development partners, security agencies, media practitioners, and civil society around a common purpose of strengthening Ghana's cyber resilience through collaborations, knowledge sharing, and public awareness. Today's event is a reaffirmation of our collective responsibility to ensure that as Ghana's accelerate his digital transformation journey, we do so with security, trust, and resilience at the center of our effort. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, around the world, digital technologies are reshaping economies, transforming industries, redefining governance, and creating entirely new opportunities for innovations, entrepreneurship, and employment. For Ghana, digital transformation is about creating opportunities for every citizen, improving public service delivery, strengthening businesses, expanding financial inclusions, and positioning our country to compete effectively in an increasingly digital global economy. This is the vision guiding the work of the Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology, and Innovations. Under the leadership of His Excellency, the President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama, government is pursuing an ambitious digital transformation agenda that seeks to harness technology as a catalyst for inclusive economic growth, job creation, improved governance, and national competitiveness. Our objective is clear. We are building a digital economy that is secure, innovative, inclusive, and globally competitive, one that empowers citizens and ensures that no Ghanaian is left behind in the digital age. However, digital transformation cannot succeed without trust. Citizens must trust that their personal information is protected. Businesses must trust that digital transactions are secured. Investors must trust that Ghana provides a safe and predictable digital environment. Public institutions must ensure that the digital services upon which millions of Ghanaians increasingly rely remains reliable, secure, and resilient. Trust is therefore the currency of every successful digital economy. That trust is built through effective cyber security. For this reason, cybersecurity is an economic imperative, a governance imperative, a national security imperative, and increasingly it is a development imperative. Cybersecurity has become the foundation upon which digital transformation must be built. Without it, innovation cannot flourish, digital inclusion cannot be sustained, and confidence in the digital economy cannot grow. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, government has therefore adopted a comprehensive approach to building Ghana's digital future. Our investment extends beyond digital infrastructure to include digital skills, innovation, artificial intelligence, regulatory reforms, and cyber security. These priorities are mutually reinforcing. One of our flagship interventions is the 1 Million Coders Program, an ambitious initiative designed to equip young Ghanaians with globally competitive digital and software development skills. Across the country, we continue to witness extraordinary enthusiasm from young people eager to become creators of technologies rather than passive consumers. This is exactly the future we envision. A Ghana where our youth build digital solutions for local and global markets. Innovation drives productivity, and technology creates decent jobs and new enterprises. Complementing this effort is the implementation of Ghana's National Artificial Intelligence Strategy, which provides a strategic framework for the responsible development, deployment, and governance of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence presents enormous opportunities for transforming healthcare, education, agriculture, manufacturing, financial services, and public administrations. However, these opportunities can only be realized where innovation is accompanied by strong governance, ethical safeguards, and robust cyber security. Our AI strategy, therefore, places equal emphasis on innovation, responsibility, transparency, accountability, and security. This is balanced approach. This balanced approach will ensure that Ghana harnesses AI to improve lives while safeguarding the rights, privacy, and confidence of our citizens. Government is equally advancing the Ghana Digital Acceleration Project, which continues to strengthen our national digital infrastructure, modernize public service delivery, expand digital connectivity, and improve access to digital services across the country. These investments are helping to create an enabling environment for businesses, entrepreneurs, and citizens to participate fully in the digital economy. At the same time, we continue to engage stakeholders across the communications and broadcasting ecosystem to promote a media landscape that is professional, credible, sustainable, and responsive to the evolving demands of the digital age. A vibrant media sector remains indispensable to democratic governance, informed public discourse, and national development. Yet, one of these initiatives, whether in digital infrastructure, artificial intelligence, digital skills, or innovation, can achieve their full potential without scale cyberspace. Cybersecurity is therefore the thread that binds together every aspect of Ghana's digital transformation journey. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is against this backdrop that today's initiative assumes profound national significance. The National Community Media Cyber Capacity Building Project is a strategic investment in Ghana's national resilience. The project recognizes a simple but powerful truth. Cybersecurity is fundamentally about people. Technology can secure networks, laws can establish standards, institutions can enforce regulations, yet the strongest defense against cyber threats remain an informed and vigilant citizenry. This is where community media becomes indispensable partners. Across Ghana, community radio stations and local media outlets remain among the most trusted and accessible sources of information, particularly in rural and underserved communities. They communicate in the local languages, understand the realities of the communities they serve, and enjoy a level of public confidence that few institutions can match. By equipping community journalists with the knowledge and practical skills to educate citizens on cyber hygiene, online safety, digital fraud prevention, and responsible online behavior, it will serve as a foundation to strengthen Ghana's first line of defense against any emerging digital threat. The importance of this project cannot, therefore, be overstated. As outlined in the project concept, Ghana continues to experience growing threats from mobile money fraud, identity theft, online impersonation, misinformation, cyber-enabled crime, and child online protection challenges. Addressing these threats requires a greater public awareness and a stronger collaboration between government institutions, the media, security agencies, and local communities. This project responds directly to that need. distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the role of the media in the digital age has never been more important. Journalists do more than report events. They shape public understanding, influence behavior, build confidence in institutions, expose misinformation, and promote accountability. In today's digital environment, these responsibilities extend beyond traditional journalism. Media practitioners are now critical partners in promoting digital literacy, combating online misinformation, educating citizens on cyber risks, and encouraging responsible participation in our digital society. Every accurate report on cybercrime helps protect another citizen. Every public awareness campaign on online fraud can prevent another family from becoming a victim, just like my people in my constituency. Every discussions on digital safety contributes to building a more resilient nation. I therefore encourage our journalists gathered here today to champion cybersecurity reporting in service to the public. Your work has the power to save livelihood, protect vulnerable communities, and strengthen Ghana's digital future. As government, we remain committed to working closely with the media to build the capacity required to fulfill this important responsibility. Today's digital threats cut across national borders, institutions, and sectors. Our response must therefore be equally collaborative. This is why government continues to promote a whole of government and a whole of society approach to cybersecurity. This approach brings together ministries, departments, and agencies, cybersecurity authority, law enforcement institutions, academia, private sector, civil society organization, development partners, technology companies, and the media. Each stakeholder has an important role to play. Government will continue to provide leadership through sound policies, strategic investment, and an enabling regulatory environment. The Cybersecurity Authority will continue to strengthen national cyber resilience through education, incident response, and regulatory oversight. And I must say, on behalf of our ministry, the Director General of Cybersecurity and his team are doing well. We appreciate your effort. May God continue to bless you. Our security agencies will continue to protect our national digital infrastructure and investigate cyber-enabled crimes. Ladies and gentlemen, as we accelerate our digital transformation agenda, government remains unwavering in his commitment to creating an enabling environment where innovation thrives safely. We will continue to invest in digital infrastructure that connects communities and expands opportunities. We will continue to equip our young people with the digital skills required to compete in the global economy and continue to strengthen cybersecurity governance and protect our critical information infrastructure. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to congratulate the Cybersecurity Authority, the Africa Center for Digital Transformation, and the government of the Czech Republic for their vision and commitment in bringing this initiative to fruition. I also commend our security agencies, development partners, community media organizations, and all stakeholders whose collaborations has made today's launch possible. Let today's event serve as the beginning of an even stronger partnership dedicated to building a digitally skilled and resilient Ghana. On this note, I have the singular honor to officially, on behalf of my minister, declare the National Community Cyber Capacity Building Project officially launched. I wish the National Community Media Cyber Capacity Building Project a very success And may the good Lord continue to be with us. And may God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make us strong. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Minister. Please, you remain at the front for us as I kindly ask our dignitaries to join him for a group picture, after which our media representatives present will also join for the group picture. It's time for, please remain at stage. Our participants kindly join for the group picture.
Thank you very much. Please, we may take our seats. Thank you very much. Please, let's kindly take our seats. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please, media, please note that the event is not over. We do have another segment later on. We would now take our vote of thanks. So please, let's kindly get on our seats. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now take our vote of thanks from Madam Abigail Otabil. She is with the Cybersecurity. May I please get your attention? Thank you very much. We will now take our vote of thanks from Madam Abigail Otabil. She is with the Cybersecurity Authority. Thank you very much.
Thank you. First of all, we'd like to give thanks to the Almighty God for giving us life today. And so we thank God Almighty for bringing us all here. Our next thanks is to the Deputy Minister of Communication Digital Technology, Honorable Mohammed Adams. Suparu, thank you so much for being here. Again, a big thank you to His Excellency Pavel Bilek, Ambassador to the Czech Republic, and of course the Director General of the Cybersecurity Authority, and all other dignitaries. I cannot list all, but we just want to say thank you all for coming and gracing this occasion. Let's put our hands together for ourselves. I would like to just end that we also thank all our supporters, Africa Center for Digital Transformation, of course the Czech Aid, Transition, Embassy of the Czech Republic again, of course our Mother Ministry, and the CSA team, and everyone gathered here. Thank you so much for making this possible. And just to end that, National Cyber Month is coming in October, so we hope for more collaboration, partnership, and sponsorship. Thank you so much. Thank you. I've been tasked to give a closing prayer. Can we be on our feet kindly? Heavenly Father, we thank you for this afternoon. We thank you for the opportunity to be here. We thank you for everything that has taken place. We ask kindly that you continue to give us life, the grace, and the funding to extend our awareness creation in this country and beyond these borders. We ask kindly that you continue to shield and give us protection for the rest of the program. We thank you. We pray for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding for our leaders. And we ask kindly that you help us and equip us to follow the task that you have given this authority and beyond. We thank you so much for answered prayers. We ask kindly again that as we depart from here at the end, we ask for traveling mercies, that you take us to our various destinations and you keep us, that in the end we'll be careful to give you all the glory and honor. In Jesus' mighty name, I pray with thanksgiving. Amen. Thank you all for coming again. God bless us all and keep us all.
Please, all media participants are supposed to remain seated. There's lunch for everyone, but unfortunately it's not yet in. So please be seated. We are taking the first session today. So all media trainees are supposed to remain seated. Thank you.